Baruch Fleshman, Tikkun Elevator Kolel, making shiurim for those who merit. This is the Zohar Kodesh. This is Parshas Yisro. Now, so I want us to remind us that we're just picking pieces from this parsha. That's actually in the Matuk Bedavash. It's pretty big. It's very big. And there's no way that we could get through it. And people have said, or I've thought, why not just start at the beginning and just keep going? And I would like to do that, actually, but I need chavrusas or students who would like to do 1 hour of starting at the beginning of the Matak Midavash and then going forward. But it's complicated. So here we are. And remember that when we pick up, this is like a river that's flowing. And it has a lot of different channels. Basically, from the Rav, we can learn how to understand it. But here we are in a conversation and in a whole flow that was before what we're about to read. And I don't know what it is. So I do the best I can, and I come over here. So let's look. We're going to learn the Matuk B'Devash and the Pirush on it. It says, Tanya Amar Rebbe Yosi, Mevi Kan Uvda Zu. So this particular story we're about to get, he said, the Fi Sheba Nizkar Pirush ala Pasuk Ko Samar the Beis Yaakov. So you should say to the house of Yaakov. And he says over here, he had Shetzarik the Davar Hab'im call Echad Kafi Ma'allah. So you have to learn to speak to everyone according to their qualities. Everybody's different. Medrik also could look on as he's going to explain. Now this seems to be the theme of what we want to learn in the Zohar. V'amar Rebbe Yosi Zimna Hada Chavivena Azil V'Archa. Pam Achas Yisi Mahala B'Derech. One of us traveling. V'Hava Rebbe Chiyah Bri, my son Rebbe Chiyah, was with me. Ad Chavivena Azlim. So as we were walking along, Ashkachna Chad Gvar, the Hadalokik B'Hakla Asavin La'asvasa. Ba'od Shahainu Cholchim B'Derek. So while we're still walking, Mitzanu Ish Echad, Shehoya Malachet B'Sada Asavin, the Refuah, he was gathering up different herbs for the purpose of making medicine, for healing. Kurivna L'Gabay, so we came near to him. Amenole, so we said, Barnash, sir, Kutra de Kutri de Chasavin Lama. Amartilo, so I said to him, this is Rebbe Yosi speaking. Ben Adam, he says, sir, or I guess, I don't know, man, Ben Adam. Kesha HaKolel Harbecha Kishuya Savim, you have made a big bundle out of many different smaller bundles. This would be Harbe Kishuya Savim, Lama Huloch. Why are you doing that? Because he had a whole bundles of many different kinds of grasses. Minim, one inside of the next. Minim shonim, so one type from a different kind of, in other words, different species. Each one of them was bound by itself. And after that, he bound them all together in one. So he didn't lift up his head, because we said, hello, sir. He didn't say anything. Also, each lo zakov rosho v'lochav anaklum. Adahocha hadrana zimna. So we came back. Zimna achra. We came back another time. V'amena hai. Chazarti od pam. I came back another time. V'chamarti lo zeh. So I said to him this. V'lo amimidi. V'lo anaklum. But he didn't answer anything. Amena look of the Rebbe Chiyah Bri. So I said to Rebbe Chiyah, my son. Amarti the Vili Rebbe Chiyah. Oh, hi Barnash. Atim udnim. Maybe he's deaf. Me atim udnim is ears. It's very similar to the word adni. I just noticed that. You have to make a udin. Very similar, but not exactly. So he says, Atim udnim o shatya o hakima. This man, Ishzeh, o oznos otumim, his ears are closed, in other words, he's deaf. O hushota, or he's crazy. O hocham, or he's very wise. Yisiv boy, so we sat down next to him. Yishav of etzlo, the rose says masav, and wanted to watch what he was doing. The basar lokate inan the saviv v'achelon. So then, after this, he gathered together all of these herbs. Achakach lochet osam v'hasavim v'kashro osam yachad, and he tied them all together. So in other words, the different bundles, he made into one big bundle. V'chal b'chabalaichol tarfei gufni v'kisa alechem b'balei gefonim. So he all as I was pronounce it, ole, I'm not sure, with the leaves of the he covered the whole thing over with grape leaves. Let's look a little bit more. So it says after that, Amalon anach amenen the yudoyim atun. So then after that, I see that you guys are Jews. So he suddenly started talking, but he finished what he was doing before he started talking to them. Amalano ani rosh atem Yehudim. I see you're Jewish. V'yodoyim amri alaychu de'inan hachimi. And they say about the Jews, v'omer ala Yehudim shehem hachamim, that they are wise men. So he said, I lo dachaisina alaychu hashta, im lo hayisi has alechem ata. If I was not sorry about this, or how the way I happened, to having rikikim b'bnei noshim, tihu muruchokim b'bnei adam. Now let me see what I really didn't translate it well. So ilo dachaisino alaychu hashta. If I'm not worried about you now, ilo hayisi has alechem ata. If I would not care but you now, to heaven rekiki b'bnei noshim, tihu muruchokim b'bnei adam. You would have been sent away or somehow exiled from other people. K'skira do the merhakim le mekula k'mitzora. It's like for a person who's a leper. Mitzora. Now, I didn't think of what's going on here in this story, but because I've read a little bit more of it. But he says k'mitzora, like a leper. Then they send him away from the rest of civilization. They send him out in the desert to stay out there. Wow, what a statement. He says, because what it is, he says, now he didn't speak to them, right? He was busy picking and bundling, and he didn't speak to them, and they talked to him, and they sat by him, and everything he didn't say. But when he finished, then he talked to them. And then he said, so he says, I smell, I think I skipped something. Because I can see that the scent of a certain plant, which was near you. You were near this plant at one time. It came through your noses into your bodies. And you will be sent away and exiled for 3 days. So the a mitzora, I don't know shlosha. I don't know the idea of 3 days. I don't know how that goes together. But this is what the Zohar says. You're going to be in exile because of leprosy for 3 days. So eat these garlics. These are shumim hamidbarim. These are desert garlic. Shalasada v'tisrafo, and you will be healed. He says, well, so we went and we ate them. Because they were right there, right next to us, and then we fell asleep. V'niskashra b'zeh, we sweated. Zaman Rav for a long time. The boss is iron of it. After that, it's we woke up. Amalam hahu gav. So then the man said to us, Hashta elokechem imechem dashkachtum. So he says, Amar lana ha'ish ahu. Now, I guess what he was saying, he says that I could smell on you, or I don't know how he smell on you, that you were near this plant which is going to cause you to become a leper. Now, it's a very, what are we talking about here? Why do we get into the concept of leprosy in the middle of, Parashat Yisro? I mean, so, what's going on here? See that you found me, and how I see that. Because the refuah that you needed as a result of the fact that you breathed in this scent of this plant. Because healing you really came about as a result of what I could do. So now, now we're continuing to travel. Now, the Zohar, it brings the concept of traveling a lot. And my thinking is, this is just me personally, they're traveling in the inner worlds, not the outer worlds. We're not traveling, well, the earth is in the inner worlds too. So that's the concept of Malchus. But that's what I'm wondering, why the Zohar brings us into this idea. Bod Shahaina Holchem, we were traveling. Amalam Ratza the Hokiyach Osanu, that he wanted to rebuke us. Because once we saw, I think he's saying that you said Lashon Hara about him. Let's see. That we saw that he was quiet, he wouldn't answer us. We should have kept our mouth shut. And not continue to ask him about what he's doing. He says, because this is pshat in this Zohar. So the Zohar came from a faraway place, or I don't know where exactly, this man that they found, picking herbs. And he says, Tzarech derek eretz, a person has to have skill in personal interactions of the Chochmah b'han hagas dibur, in the way that he speaks. So he said they spoke to a man who didn't want to speak to them. Then he said a couple of words that were not nice about him. He says either he's deaf, or he's crazy, or he's a chacham. But that in itself, because maybe you could say this is like a little Lashon Hara. And the next thing you see is that these guys are going to wind up, and he says, how does he know this? Because he understands the nature of herbs. This is a rofe. I mean, he understands them. Let's go on. V'chein Amr kol bar nash boy leishte bar nash achra kafun orchoy. Kol adam sark ledaber im adam acher. When you speak to another person, you have to speak to him according to the way that that person likes to be spoken to. Kafi darkov in his way. So people have habits. I have a chavrosa sometimes who doesn't allow me to use the word book. Every time I say the word book, he says you'll be safer. Well, he's probably right, but on the other hand, that's an idiosyncrasy. I don't know what to do about it. So I guess that if I'm going to get along with him, I'm going to have to go according to. So maybe that's it. The whole the nukta from archoi. Say, for example, you're speaking to your wife or a woman, you have to speak to her according to the understanding of the Weltanschauung, of the mindset of a woman. Or so a man, this would be according to the way that men talk. So a great man according to his ways. You have to speak to him a certain way. V'od ratza loma lachem shema'acha sheroa shehu chachamim. Shehem chachamim. So he says, wait a minute. What's he also something else he wants to say? That now that I see that you're actually wise in the ways of the world, you're chachamim, you know Torah. Tzarachu linhog bechem kavod. So you have to give them a certain amount of respect. V'ledaver imhem karoi l'chachamim, the way that you would speak to a Talmud Chacham. V'lechein gilo lechem inyan ha'asavim shelok l'kamon. So therefore, he decided that he would reveal to them something about the plants that he had gathered, and we're going to talk about it later, he says. Amen the Rebbe Chiyah Bari. So I said to Rebbe Chiyah Bari, this is the meaning of this pasuk. Marta the Rebbe Chiyah Bani, Shazak goes this pasuk. Kol Tomer the base Yaakov. So you should say to the house of Yaakov. What's he wants to say? Who is the house of Yaakov? Shehem Anoshim. These are the women. Shitzark Ladabri Imam Kafi Darkechem. Because you have to speak to women about the things in the way that women normally talk. I don't know how you do that or how you figure it out, but maybe, I don't know. Shehem Haskarim Shitzark Ladabri Imam Kafi Darkechem. These are the men, and then you have also, these are the males that you have to speak to them according to their ways. A little bit more. Amlam Chamit and the law Zekifna ratio Vlish to Ein the Berdai. Amalano, so he says, Amalano, he said to us, Reisim Shalo Zakafte Roshi, you saw that I never lifted up my head from what I was, and I didn't speak to him, to speak to you. Vishum da Abba Chakima B'chasavim, because my father was a wise man in herbs. Because B'nai Dara, he was greater than anybody else in his generation, Hava. Vishum Sha'ani Choya Chacham B'Segulis Asavim, I read it wrong. Sha'avi, my father, Choya Chacham B'Segulis Asavim, with the powers, the different qualities, powerful qualities of different plants. Yosi B'Kol B'nai Dara, many more than anybody else. I mean, what a healer this man. So he said, so I learned from my father, Hadrachim shall call chasav in the way that all plants are supposed to go. Sheyesh bechem devarim amitium, these plants that have something true about them. I'm not sure what he means. Amitium, I guess he means they are what they are. I'm not sure what that means. Let's read it one more time. So this topic that we was talking about before is the topic of learning to speak to women like women, in the way that they understand, and in the way they understand, and all different kinds of people according to who they are. It's very interesting. He learned this from his father about all of these plants or these herbs. Sheyesh bechem devarim amitim, that have some true quality about them. B'ane b'kol shata madornach b'naihu. B'ane b'kol hashana, I, all year long, diyarti b'bein chasavim, I lived amongst the plants. B'hai izbecha dechamitun dechafeinach b'lei b'tarfe degufnin ilan. Now, what did he say? V'esav zeh, this herb, Shiraisim shikisisi osech ba'ale gufanim elo. So again, this herb that you saw, that I covered it over with grape leaves, gufanim elo, these grape leaves, hu nitzrach li, this is something I need. Ki bebesa is aser chad who listed tzvon. He says this idea like this. He said, Bebesi, in my house, yesh makum echad, there's a certain place in that house, v'hu litzad tzfon, which is on the north side of my house. Give me a second. Shemesham tiftach harua, because we understand that on the left line is a line of din. Where bad things happen is from din. So he's saying that there's a place in his house which is on the north side, the place of din. There's a place of din in his house. And this place on the north side of the house, Tekur Rechaim Achas. There is set up over there a mill, one mill. I'm not sure what Me'ena means, but I guess he means the stone, or let's see, he's going to translate the Haku Rachaya from this mill. Nofik had gaver basre reshach v'char b'shida b'day. So he says, Uma'ayin, from the eye of that mill, a mitzvah grinds something. Yotza mazik b'tzuras adam. An angel, I don't know if this refers to people, or if it refers to actually, let's just read what he said and you make your own inference. He's a Uma'ayin shall osa rechaim, for the, I guess the ayin means the center part, or I don't know if it's a word that goes with a mill. Yatsa mazik b'tzuras adam, a mazik. This is an angel in the form of a man. Mazik means harmful. B'shnei roshim, with two heads. V'cherev chada b'yado. He has two heads, and he has a sharp sword in his hand. B'kol yom b'kol mitzayerlon, b'kol yom hu mitzayer umafchid osano. Every day he causes us pain, and he causes us to be frightened. Va'ana and I, lekitna ha isba, va'ani lekati esav hazeh, but I picked this herb, k'dei laharago zoha hamazik, in order to kill that mazik. V'zilu abasroi v'techemun chele d'hai isba. Ubo achroi, you should come after me, follow me. V'tira kochel shel esav hazeh, and you will see the power of this herb. Madi eloka yilo gali ba'alma. Umasha HaKodesh Baruch Hu gile ba'olam, what HaKodesh Baruch Hu revealed in the world. Leis man diyada or choy b'kula v'ein mi sheyodeh derachav b'kol davar. But nobody really knows the ways of Hashem. Is that what he's saying? We'll read it one more time. Madi eloka yilo gali ba'alma. He says, Umasha HaKodesh Baruch Hu is being mashpia to us all the time. Gila ba'olam, revealed in the world. Less man diyada archoy b'kula, but how he reveals and what is revealed, nobody knows all of those ways. Ve'ein mi sheyodeh derachav b'kol davar. There is no one out there that knows his ways in everything. So I'm going to stop here, and tomorrow we'll see if I come back to this again. It looks like the way that I see this, it goes over to here, which is not that far. So maybe we could get to it tomorrow. This is Baruch Fleischman. You're listening to the Zohar with a Pirush of the Matak B'Devash here at the Tikkun Elevator Kolo.